Всем привет. Сегодня нам Нурмухамед объяснит My Cat. Нурмухамед, тебе слово.
Yeah, hello everybody. Today we're going over My Cat. We don't have a lot of theory for today, just one function, one method, working with files. So for this particular project, we need to open a text file, read from it, and then close it. But working with text files also includes other access modes, like, for example, whenever we call the open function, first we specify the path or the file name if it's in the same directory. Then we specify the access mode. We'll see that what kind of access modes there could be in a minute. You could use, after opening the file, you can use this variable to read from it. For example, you can just read all of the contents at the same time by calling file.read. This method just returns a string with all of the text that is contained in the file. And this method it also returns all of the contents at the same time, but it does it in a way that it returns a list of strings, and each separate line is on a separate string. Then after you're done with the file, after you're done reading it or writing in it, you just call the method close on the variable that you opened. So you just write file.close in brackets, and you can implement the rest of your logic. Now let's go over some access modes. Today we're going to be using only this access mode, which is read only. That is all we're going to need. But there also exists other access modes like read and write. R plus stands for reading and writing. W stands for opening the file for writing. W plus is also for reading and writing, but this one doesn't raise an error whenever the file doesn't exist. A is used for appending, because whenever we call W, if you call W or write only on an existing file, then it's gonna delete all of your contents inside and write over that. But if you use A or append only, then you add the contents at the end of the file. Although this does not grant you the permission to edit the file. Also, there is append and read, which is just like write and read, but this one appends to the file. So that's it for the theory for the day. Let us jump into the project. The command line cat is used for, well, concatenating contents of different files. For example, if I call cat my cat, this is a file that I used for solving this in C. It just returns the contents of this file exactly as it is, with all of the new lines and so on. As you can see at the end of it, I don't have a new line. That's why it even printed me the percent sign saying that it doesn't have a new line. And if you write two files at the same time, it concatenates them together. So as you can see, it just added the README file at the end of the mycat file. So it just adds them together. So knowing that, let us implement the logic. From the get-go, we need to import the library sys you've gone over this in quest 4, I think, or 5. I don't remember. Because we need to use arguments. When we call this, we're going to be writing something like, um, yeah, let's stick with my cat and reading. So it will need to process these variables. So let's do a for loop for index in range length. Let us just throw like a general picture together. Then we'll see if it work or not. Length of the sys.argv. Because argv contains a list. Argv is the list containing all of the arguments. Then we need to print what? Oh no, we don't print it because we don't just print the arguments, we open the files that they are referring to. So inside we write file is equal to open, the function we learned just today. Open, and inside it we have this. And the access mode is read, so we just put R in there. Let us put the close so that we don't forget about it. And now we can just call the read method so that it returns everything and just adds it to the print, just prints it to the console. I think that's it. We can test it. So as we can see, it doesn't exactly do what we intended to do because it prints itself. And why does it print itself? It's because in sysargv, the zeroth index refers to the file itself. So in this case, it's mycat.py. That's why we need to start the range from 1. This will set the starting index from 1. And now we will not have the same result. And yes, this is what we expect it to be. But there is one more problem right here. As we saw in the previous, when we called the actual cat, it printed it on the same line because this file doesn't have a new line at the end of it. But our function, function didn't really work as it was intended to, and that is because print has a new line at the end of each command. It prints the contents that you input, and then it prints a new line. That is the default behavior. To avoid that, we put end is equal to equal to nothing. We just leave this blank because otherwise this is initialized to the new line character. So let us see. Oh, yeah. And as you can see, that fixed it. I think we're ready to test it with Gandalf. And it did pass all the tests. So that is it for the project. It is quite short when you go over all the theory. Do you have any questions about this?
Okay, Nur Mohammed, thank you.
Меня
I'll end
постоянно
the recording right now
Okay.
and questions later.